And I came with something different, but it was definitely inspired by smoking a blunt, watching Super Ninja. I was like, I'm gonna beat. Which is how a lot of hip hop was made in my day. We're watching movies, smoking a blunt, making a song.
Yeah, so before the movie, you talked about how the martial arts genre is actually really similar to the superhero genre. And I thought that this was like a really insightful comment. Just because like, they're both sort of like action-packed and full of spectacle, but they're still like each kind of getting at deeper issues of heroism and are trying to like, inspire, I think, in some way. I was wondering, what kind of gets you excited about the superhero genre moving forward? Do you see it sort of like taking on more characteristics of the martial arts films, or?
Well, I think our superhero genre is really at the pinnacle, and while there's great cinema all around the world, Korean cinema has been making a big impact. Of course, you know, Bollywood is the biggest place for cinema. Asian cinema has been always inspiring us. You know, you hear that Star Wars was inspired by Kurosawa, and some of the movies he did. Clint Eastwood was inspired by Seven Samurais and Magnificent Seven, and Yojimbo, and all these movies, the Jim Jarmusch also. A lot of us are inspired by it, but Hollywood is the mecca of movie making, and the talent that's there is immense. And so now, when Hollywood is able to take ideas from other cinema and put it into their hands, I think that it really raises the bar. So a movie like Captain America or Spider-Man, the action is always great, but the drama is always there, you know. Or the acting of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I mean, you can't resist, you know, the movie itself. You know, you watch the Avengers, you know, you get this adrenaline that's built up. I remember watching this, you know, a few months ago. It was Batman versus Superman, right? Which was cool, right? Yeah. I ran with it, and I love the Wonder Woman appeared. But the best time of that whole experience, for the theater I was in, was when they showed the Civil War trailer. And Spider-Man popped up, the whole audience went crazy. That was the highlight of that experience. So I think the superhero films has been able to capture drama, action, as well as talk about some of the issues that's going on in our world. I mean, they've been very political. The Fantastic Four, which wasn't a hit, but goes deep into quantum physics and interdimensional travel, you know. The writers are very, very in tune with science and with culture and politics. And you pick that with a backdrop of a superhero film, or if you go into the Asian culture, you watch John Woo's Red Cliff, which gives you a historical perspective of things. You know, the elements of this in history and politics with film and action, I think is great. And superhero films are doing it the best right now.
Yeah, don't you think that doing beats is like doing martial arts a little bit in a certain way, like the discipline? Everybody has this different techniques, different steeds, and you got to practice. No matter how good you are when you start, you can only be the best if you really practice every day, more and more your chops.
I fully agree with that. The word kung fu means to work. I mean, to work in action and to continue to work. So you have to work, yo. Martial art, you know, mental or physical. Whether you're playing the piano or whether you're out there punching the bag. You know what I mean? The work you put in will make you be great at what you do.
What kind of kung fu do you?
What kind of kung fu do I practice? I practice mental kung fu. Kung fu of the mind.
Yes, yes.
Me. So in addition to being a director and a hip-hop legend, you're also a composer, and I was wondering if you could take any film in cinema history and write a new score for it and put the score in the movie, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's a tough one right there. I don't have an answer to that because I'm a big fan of the composers in movie history. You know, John Williams being one of the greatest. The whole movement family has brought music to a great level. Of course, Hans Zimmer, you know, is a master at doing it. So I wouldn't rescore a movie, but I haven't had the chance to do. I mean, I had one chance to do it and I blew it because I didn't know what I was doing. When I did Ghost Dog, Jim Jarmusch let me create the music as I felt. But at the time, I didn't know how to spot a movie, how to fade in, how to really work with the scenes. I just wrote music and just gave it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that I understand that process, I never really had the chance to have an unfiltered, untampered with, complete score from top to end. And I would love to do that one day. Just let me do what I want. But when you score a movie, it is the director's vision, producer's decision.
All right, last question. Oh.
Right here. All right. Well, hey, RZA, listen, man. Like I work here. I work in the kitchen here at Metrograph, and let me tell you, like the first week I worked here, man, the first movie they showed that I came and saw was 8-Diagram Pole Fighter. And I came and saw it because of you. I don't know, from some way, shape, or form, I had read something. I don't know if it was from the Tao Wu or something like that you had written that explained how it brought the clan together.
Yeah.
As
Did you enjoy
brothers.
the film?
Can you? I enjoyed it thoroughly. I can't even explain. My only question is, can you please embellish on if there's any truth to that?
No, that's 100% truthful. You know, those brothers, you know, all came from one family. They fought for another. They fought for one another, and even when, you know, they killed the 6 brothers, one went crazy. You know,
Well, the sixth one had all the styles combined.
The 5th brother was the one who had to go back and go learn with the monks.
That's right.
Ghostface Killer called himself the 5th brother.
He was the 5th disciple.
Like, on the 5th brother.
He took all the styles together and said, all right, I got to go and correct this.
But you know, the one thing about the martial art films for us was, of course, the chivalry. You see this guy turn down some hot pussy in the bed and still got killed. Excuse my language, but he might excuse my language, but you know, in his chivalry, he was like, nah, you know, I can't do that. Wait, you want to talk to the master. So the chivalry is one thing, but the brotherhood was really something vital for us, whereas a man will risk his life for his teacher, risk his life for his classmate, and risk their lives for what they believe in to carry on, their culture or their school. So that was something that really stuck with us, and that was something that helped breed Wu-Tang Clan to be who we are in many years. We have our squabbles as any family would, but to this day, we speak to each other. It's always, I love you, man. I love you, kid. Yeah,
I love you too. Yo, Abbott, man.
Before we go to the next film, or before we want to let everybody exit, I just want to say one thing about this film. It was, like I said, you see a lot of the gags. As a kid, those gags looks cool. But I wanted us to pay attention to the idea of Chang Che, the director of continuity. He put everything in the film had a meaning. You know what I mean? So when the guys put the blindfolds on their eyes, that was for them to counter the gold technique with the spears and the poles, the step on the earth style, and then the key, which we probably all was like, what the fuck is the key? But even the key came in handy. I think that that's another element that I see some other great directors do. Tarantino was very conscious about making sure that one thing leads to another and leads to another, and that's a part of filmmaking. So there's a network called the LRA Network that actually plays these movies on repeat. Robert Rodriguez, another genius, he knows that from what they call B movies, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. So you go watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
That's right.
and still pick something up.
Some ridiculous
So
shit, yeah.
if you are in the cinema, either as a fan, as an up-and-coming writer, director, actor, the best thing you could do is watch a lot of movies, okay? Simple.